Hello and welcome to Wise Woman Wednesdays. My name is Jennifer Regular and I am the Soul Illuminator at Lighting the Path and also host of this show. And I love being able to bring people from all around the world to share their journey, their passion, and what really lit them up on their path and want to contribute to the world. This is all so you can feel more empowered, more inspired on your journey to become who you came here to be and do what you came here to do. Today, I'm so delighted to have Vanessa Rae here today. She is truly a creative and healing arts renaissance woman. Through multiple decades of various trainings and professional, personal experience in psychological, spiritual, musical, and holistic healing modalities, she has worked as a healer, teacher, musical performer, a bereavement doula, coach, and counselor. She has also braved personal triumphs through depression and eating disorder, dysfunctional relationships, and the loss of a baby. In 2021, she trained directly with Marianne Williamson and developed her signature course in liberating women from body image issues, excess weight, food dysfunction, and negative emotional mental patterns. Miracle-Minded Weight Loss is a spiritual and holistic program that serves women and girls by ending the struggle of returning to light, love, and authentic confidence. Today, she is here to discuss with us about aligned eating. Welcome, Vanessa. It is so wonderful to have you here today.
Thank you, Jennifer. It is such a pleasure to be with your viewers and listeners and with you.
Thank you so much. And remind me again where you're joining us from.
So I'm currently in Pennsylvania, United States.
Beautiful. Thank you for saying that. From Pennsylvania, and I'm in the west coast of Canada in British Columbia. And what brought you to where you are now, Vanessa, in your life? What lit your path?
Yeah, that's a big question. To keep it short and simple, I would say what really got me here was a perseverance and a love for growth and continuing to turn, no matter how long it took, to the light and to what was really ultimately going to serve me, like my happiness, my joy, and being able to give that and make something with it that's valuable, not just for myself, but for others. So, as my bio mentioned, I've gone through, like a lot of people, just many things personally. And it was always that eventual, let me use this, let me keep going, let me serve myself and the light and the greater good of all. So, I guess the answer really is what I call my spiritual practice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done or be here in this way now, if I didn't have that strong spiritual practice.
Yes, yes. And now we're talking about aligned eating. And you mentioned as part of your past, you went through eating disorders. Can you share a little bit about that and what you recognized and learned through healing from that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, eating disorders, first of all, I identified it as an eating disorder because for me, it became very obvious. I was binging and purging kind of off and on, but when I didn't have an outright kind of more obvious to myself, at least, eating disorder, I had what I see a lot of people, I would say like most women and girls, experiencing, which is some kind of weirdness or offness with food, their body, their comfort level in their body. And so I've tended to call that like a food or eating dysfunction, whether it's like body dysmorphia, whatever, like aside of the labels. That's why I like to just call it weird. Like if you feel a little weird, and you'll know because you're either not at peace with your food, not enjoying it, critiquing yourself more than complimenting yourself, which I see as like a really prevalent thing. I was, I spent at least 25 years ranging from either eating disorder to just that dysfunctional kind of way of being with my food and my body. And now that I'm not, I wouldn't say in either of those situations, and it was a steady and slow journey out of it. I realized what really made the difference for me was a holistic, truly loving approach, and not just the focus on the physical, not the focus on weight or weight loss, not even the focus on food or what I'm eating, or it was really for me what made the difference was focusing on a bigger picture of myself, which is my mental self, my emotional self, my energetic self. Who am I being and how am I being in all of these realms? And through doing that over time, those symptoms, those issues, they all cleared up. That's how I became healthy. Not just in, like, let me describe what I mean by healthy. It's like the way that I experience food now, and my eating and my comfort in my body is something I never thought I would be able to have. I thought, from that old kind of mindset I was in, I thought, oh, if I lose this weight, if I look this way, then I'll have the comfort and the peace. Everything will be right. If I can only eat just this way, if I eat clean enough, if I eat light enough, if I eat this, then I'll have this peace or this rightness or this feeling of beauty. And if I do all the right physical things, really approaching it from the outside in.
Yeah, really, and also conditional.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
And which is such a setup, such a setup, which is why it took as long as it took, and why it was there were so many ups and downs. And in seeing other people and just knowing other people that are, a lot of them, like I said, are in some degree of lacking full self-expression, lacking full acceptance and joy and pleasure in their eating and in their body, realizing that it's not, I don't hear a ton, I'm sure some of it's out there, and I know some of these wonderful women that are also doing this work, but there's this real fix it from the outside in mentality. If you can just eat this, if you could just lose this weight, if you could just do this. And that really just fueled it more, the control, the conditioning, like you said. If I can have this, then I get to have this. And discovering, which is why I call it, for me, the word I use is a spiritual practice, but it doesn't have to be that word, an inside out, loving relational practice, like a relation to my thoughts, a relation to the mirror, a relation to being in my body, a relation to my mood, a relation to, yes, the food I'm eating, but also how I'm eating it, why I'm eating it. And this way of being with all these parts in a deep way and in an honest way, has led me to a place of not perfection, not complete, there's not this illusion of health and happiness, but a real feeling of general health and happiness, not an eating disorder or an eating weirdness, more pleasure and peace around food than I ever thought was possible. I thought I'd be on that hamster wheel like for years, all my life. I didn't know how else to be with food.
Yeah. It really sounds like you were able to heal your relationship with yourself and the way you are with food, like your relationship with food. And a lot of people feel, like you're saying, there's a lot of these conditions, if then kind of processes and attachments and ideas and concepts. But as I'm hearing you say, it's really about the intrinsic feelings and emotions of joy and happiness and peace, that arises when you're in right relationship with yourself and in right relationship with your food. And I often hear people talk about, the love that they put into their food, or never cook when you're angry, because it all goes into your food.
Yes.
Yeah. And, sometimes, like you say, people focus on the nutrition or calories and so on, but there's very real energetics that go on in the food. And I know you've talked about this and that alignment, because healing is really about coming back into alignment, isn't it? To realign
Absolutely.
and reset
Yeah.
and come back into balance.
And it's our nature. I mean, we argue
Yeah.
all the time. It's a natural thing, just like a balanced body is a natural thing. And when we return to that, our own personal alignment to that source that loves us, that wants our health, that wants even, our body weight, that feels right for us, that wants us to feel beautiful. Like there's no shame in that. That's a really natural thing. But like you said, it's that coming into alignment, not with just the physical piece of like the food, the nutrients, or the fat, or the calories, or the this and that, or the portion size, which that's a part of it, but it's only one part of the equation. Coming into that place of what am I doing? Who am I being? How am I vibrating while I'm eating? While I'm cooking? How do I feel? Because it is a creative act, it's a creative process, and everything creates more of itself. So if we have a plate of food in front of us, whether it's, I don't believe in this, the bad foods or the good foods, but whether it's like, an organic salad, which I eat a lot of the time, or the, fried something, or the ice cream, which I do eat some of the time as well. How am I relating to it? Am I relating to it from a place of guilt, shame, greed? I need more. I'm scared. I don't have enough. Am I relating to it like this is going to make me sick, or this is going to make me fat, or this is so bad? Or am I relating to it from, oh, this tastes good. What pleasure. I feel myself, as I say it, I can feel myself feeling grateful and open.
Yeah.
And receptive. And that does a few things for us. One is our enjoyment and peace and pleasure, like, go sky high. And that's something that I don't often hear from the kind of internal experience. We might say, like, what are your taste buds like? Or, what are your favorite foods? But really, what about the internal experience of, I love this moment, and it doesn't stop at just the plate. Like, who are you with? Or are you, like, is there music going on? What's the weather like? Is it nice and quiet? Are you all alone and having this like little quiet date with yourself and your food? Is it chaotic and fun and like colors and lights and like, but it's not just the food. But this is one of the things that made the big difference for me I just effortlessly lost about 35, 40 pounds.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, that was part of the process, was like losing weight from the inside out, from this place of, let me go into the enjoyment of this, not in my mind, but in here, in how I feel in my body. So it does that first thing I mentioned, which is the enjoyment, the pleasure, which led me to not needing to overeat, because I would eat kind of for the first time, in my adult life, I would eat enough, or sometimes a little more than enough. And then that was enough. And so I probably did take in less calories. It's like taking in less calories, but not because of control, not because of restriction, because I was so pleased. I was so full emotionally, mentally, energetically. I was so full that I was full.
Yeah, like a deeper satisfaction.
Yeah.
And
it
love that.
also because that's one thing that can lead to people overeating is like, I didn't get what I really needed. I didn't get the enjoyment, not all the calories or all the, like, I feel like I know that I ate enough, but I don't feel like I got actually what I needed. And when you give yourself, when you nourish yourself with good feelings and good thoughts, as well as good food, whatever that good food is for you, you're filling the other parts of you. We're not just a physical being. My physical body can't just do this on its own, right? Like, we're not just physical. So when you think of like, what is my mental diet, my emotional diet, my energetic diet, how am I feeding all of these things? I found satiation to be more enjoyable and led to less overeating. And that had been a thing for me. It still is occasionally. Like, I take kind of the perfection and the extremism, the black and white, like, off the table. That's just a total setup for me. For most people. So I most of the time don't overeat. I don't binge and purge anymore. But I still eat like a human,
Yeah.
It's imperfect.
So what do you mean, Vanessa, then about aligned eating?
So when the eating that I talk about in my program and with what I do, I ended up calling it aligned because I would check in with myself, first of all, not all the stuff outside of myself that's all the stuff, the noise. Some of them are doctors, some of them are books, some of them, I'm not saying any of them are wrong. I'm saying all of them are right. But alignment can only come from you. You can't go get aligned to, like, I can resonate with someone else, but my alignment is here in me.
Right.
What ended up happening over time, that I then looked back and created a program from, was I used my intuition, I used my instinct, I used some knowledge. There's nothing wrong with checking in with a doctor or reading a book or looking at finding out what nutrients do you need, what are you low in, what are you high in, all that type of stuff are just little pieces to help you with your own individual alignment. And the alignment is to the best of your ability in any given moment, feeling centered, feeling grounded, connected to, you might call it your higher self or something, a higher loving source for me, but where I feel to the best of my ability that I'm mentally, emotionally, energetically, physically integrated in here with myself. So aligned eating for me is like, I'm taking all of these things into account. So for example, like an aligned meal, let's say today when we get off this call, I'm going to go make lunch. It's time for my lunch and I'm excited. So for me to have an aligned experience, I know that I want it to taste good, feel good. I'm aligning right now to, I want to eat the right amount that is really serving me, so I don't get drained and heavy afterwards. I want to feel energized and satiated. I'm also going to align to the fact that I really want to take in a lot of vegetables and nutrients. That's in alignment for me, because that's something I want. I also want to be present. I'm having a day where I get to be alone. I'm having some nice alone time. So I'm going to sit down. Maybe I put on music today. Maybe I don't. But for me, this aligned meal is going to look different every time. But I have the time today to sit with it, to prepare my food, to pay attention as I eat, and to remind myself, I'm lucky. This food is serving me. This food is serving my higher good. This food is sourcing and fueling my life. It's indirectly fueling my clients and fueling my daughter and fueling when I start to see the interconnected wovenness of this meal, it's the opposite of what I might have thought of 20 years ago, of like, is this good? Is this bad? Is this going to make me look fat? Is this going to lead to some, that kind of thinking that I thought a lot. And it's a little more about feeling really aligned and connected, not only to my food, but to myself and to the things I want for myself. I want to be energized this afternoon. I want to support my organs and my cells and support my pleasure. I want to eat something that tastes really good. And so while I'm eating it, I can also make sure that I'm not stressing out, that my mind doesn't wander into, you know, a lot of negative thinking. And again, this is all a practice. So might that happen a little bit? Sure. I don't sit with every single meal. It's a little different than mindful eating or conscious eating. It's a little more flowy in that I'm thinking of, for me, like the whole picture. Aligned eating is very much like, is this food aligned with my health goals? You know, if someone wants to lose weight, like some of the people that I serve, and myself included, I would like to lose a little more weight if it's serving me. You know, is this food aligned with that? Is this food a step in that direction? Is this food aligned with the mood and the energy I want to have? Am I grateful for it? For some people, they can't eat a meal that's non-organic and really be aligned with it. There's a disconnect or an incongruency because they don't want to actually have pesticides in their body. So there's just like a little riff in the alignment there. For some people, like if they're allergic to something, or if they don't want meat in their system, if it's something they don't believe in eating or whatever, your alignment's gonna shift. If someone's ideal meal is some food that they grow in their own yard, then eating that food is gonna feel so in alignment with them.
That's amazing. It makes perfect sense. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for educating us around that, because it's so important. And like you say, there is a gap in there in the way that we're thinking about things and what we're ingesting, like to look at the full spectrum of what it is exactly we're ingesting. And of course, that affects of how we're digesting not only our food, but everything that's around us in our life and information and all of the things. And it sounds like you've undergone a whole reset and realignment yourself. And now you're offering that as a gift to everyone, and even to the audience. There's a 5-day reset that you have. Thank you so much for being able to offer that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would love to. So I call it the Realign Reset, just because we're always constantly recalibrating and realigning to what's most serving for us in the moment. And so it's realigning, particularly because there's so much noise on the outside pulling your attention and telling you what to do. And so we want to realign to ourselves and our highest good. And I call it a reset because it's having a look at what's not serving. How have I been thinking of food or my body or the mirror that I haven't even been paying attention to? I just take it as it's just normal for me. I'm just used to it. It's just a pattern. We're all in a bunch of patterns. So what I'm offering is it was a 5-day, so it's 5 videos for free. I think the videos are about a half an hour each, and they're just fun, easy trainings that I offer for free. If you want, I think there'll be a link provided, and it's the 5-day reset. And wherever you are in your body journey, your eating journey, your health journey, your weight loss journey, whatever. I mean, we're all eating food and we're all in a body. So it's really for anyone. And I redo this work all the time. I'm living it. So it is constantly a realigning and resetting. So that you don't have to be at any stage or having any problems necessarily to take on this realign reset.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a wonderful gift. Thank you so much for that, Vanessa. And I will put a link in the show notes for everyone too, to be able to access that. And what about the people who want to learn more about you and what you're up to and what your business is and just connect with you? Well, how do they do that?
One of the best ways is my website. That's www.vanessarae, R-A-E, of light.com. And I also, I didn't mention this earlier to you, but I also have a YouTube channel. where if you go to YouTube and put in Vanessa Rae of Light, I have a lot of free videos, some meditations, talks. I have a show in there, so tons of free content. So if this speaks to you, go check it out.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you so much for that too. And while you're here, do you have any other words of wisdom for us today?
You know, I do. I'm glad that this just popped in my head just as you said that. I think one of the most important things when we're making a change or we want something different, and specifically with, you know, what I'm kind of talking about and thinking about in the way that I help, is making that change and that desire for something different from a place of love, rather than, as you pointed out earlier, to love. Like the difference between, you know, when you mentioned conditional, so that's what I'm thinking of, the difference between losing weight or becoming healthy so that you can love yourself, or so that you feel worthy enough or good enough, or I'll be happy when, I'll be beautiful when, instead of we're already worthy. You're already good enough. You're already completely lovable. You will not be more lovable if you're skinny or if you heal your relationship with food. It's literally just a different experience. But that your worth and your love, I mean, that's a non-conditional, unconditional. It's your birthright. It's who you are. And so really, if you want to make a change in this realm, or I think in any realm, really doing it because you are love, not so that you can love yourself.
You are love.
Yes.
So well said. So beautiful. And you, Vanessa, you are a ray of light.
Thank you.
Thank you for shining all your light on us today. It's been such a pleasure.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
You are so welcome. I also want to thank each and every one of you that have been listening and watching us today. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up so that more people can hear about this and start feeling inspired to make the subtle shifts in their life, to feel more deeply satisfied and to have more fulfillment and to know that they're lovable too. So we'll see you again next time on Wise Women Wednesdays. Bye for now.